Welcome, Collective. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a collective reading for all signs. And I am starting today with the energy of simply allowing myself to be open and to find inspiration in the insights that I'm gaining through meditation and just living life. So I've laid out cards in a sequence, and I'm kind of going to go through those as an effort to reveal the message from Spirit. So from the Shadow deck, I pulled out the Strength card, which is a lovely card that really speaks about this ability to manage and even sublimate your own passions. And so this is that Leonian power, the power of the lion, the courage, the bravery, the power, managing that in a way that becomes a gentle inner force, inner power. This is not about the display of strength. This is about the strength to manage, to keep going, to have the faith that everything is working out, often despite appearances. So this is already an energy that is tapping deeply into the idea that circumstances, the material environment, does not shape or determine your vision of your capacity entirely. So this feels like a beautiful energy that is reminding us that we are who we are as a result of the decisions and choices we make, not necessarily because of what we have or our environment that may or may not support our belief. This speaks to an inner vision, an inner correctness of conduct. And then I pulled out the African Tarot, and I got both the Five of Cups and the Page of Swords. And this talks to me about the way in which we have received or enabled our love, our strength, our inner power, and how we have, as the Three of Cups demonstrates, given away power, offered power to others who did not ask for it, offering love in exchange from those who have not agreed that we are bonded. This is giving love with the hope of receiving it in response. And that clearly is a strategy that has failed often. This can be as basic as your earliest environment in which your loving nature was not rewarded with love, but was very conditional, so that you received attention, care, appreciation when you did certain things. And that's something that is part of the search for love, is looking for that unconditional love. However, along the way, because we haven't seen unconditional love often, we don't know how to give it to ourselves. In that place where you realize that you're not getting what you want, you're not succeeding in your effort, there has to be a sense of responsibility that steps in and says, well, I'm choosing these partners, I'm choosing these environments where my effort isn't matched, isn't duplicated, isn't reciprocated. So that means in order to look towards the sense of self-love and pride, how do I do that when I've never seen it, I've never experienced it, I've rarely experienced it, I should say. Of course, all of us have been unconditionally loved by someone at various times. But that doesn't always integrate into the conditioning that we receive about what's expected of us, what our role will be. And you come to this idea of self-love with a lot of questions. It's something you have to research, explore, find out about, learn about, and you approach it perhaps as more of a puzzle, a dilemma, an intellectual challenge. And so this is part of the search for love, the search for insight, revelation beyond yourself, looking outside yourself for the love that you are fully capable of giving to yourself. But you're still learning how to do that. You're aware that you don't know how. And then I pulled from the Soul's Journey the Pride card. I love myself and see myself in everyone. And it's interesting because I feel like part of the pride, for those of you I'm speaking to, comes in your ability to withstand any obstacle, your ability to persevere, power through any challenge. And in some ways, that translates to, uh, again, the family of origin pattern in which you have uh, perhaps been neglected, experienced some kind of an abuse, and it need not be some kind of horrible physical or violent abuse. It can be uh, verbal abuse, it can be criticism, it can be negative feedback, or always setting the bar higher, or never acknowledging the progress or the achievements that you have made. And so the pride comes in being able to stand up to that, to keep going despite never really receiving the sense of pride or love or appreciation or value for what you are able to do. And so this is almost like I'm proud because I have weathered this incredible storm and I'm still standing, uh, as opposed to the love of self, which I want to know how to do. And I'm aware now that I don't really have the blueprint for that in my emotional background. And I really want to learn about that. I'm aware that that is lacking. And without that love of self, right, it's difficult to feel worthy of receiving any reward, acknowledgement, uh, recognition. So I did not turn over the wild, unknown archetype because I want to read a little bit to you. And out came the ring. And initially I thought, oh, the ring, it's the bond. It is a bond. It's something that symbolizes a bond, much as the planets orbit the sun. It's a kind of holistic approach to a relationship with another or others. So I'm going to read from the guidebook, and for a little more infinite, for a little more insight. And one of the titles, alternative titles, is the infinite, the wheel, the connection. The ring is an image of connectedness. The ring challenges us to sense the cyclical, infinite nature of our world and experiences, beginnings and endings fall by the wayside as we practice seeing ourselves as part of the cosmic circularity of creation. For this reason, it's no surprise a ring is worn on the finger to represent eternal love that surpasses space, time, and worldly things. It mimics the Earth's orbit around our great sun and the intimate bond between two lovers, the micro and macro united. This card calls us to deepen connection with self, other, and the world at large. Meanwhile, there may be a literal ring waiting to adorn your finger. So this is really about the sacred cycle of love, one that has been activated in your life, whether you're experiencing the results of that or not. So part of the result that you have been carrying for a long time is the sense of sadness, remorse, unhappiness. It's like an aura around your energy. And there's a way in which it is difficult to break the cycle of the past in the way that we're often encouraged to do so. And this card is really saying there is no separation from the past. The past, particularly as the wounds have been experienced in the past, we continue to heal from. And this is really highlighting the astrological energy of Mars conjunction with Chiron, putting our passion to looking at the wound, looking at where we've been damaged, understanding that that is the source of our power to heal. I'm going to clarify some of these cards. I'm going to arrange them in a way that, I'm just going to go a free flow of clarification here. I'm really trying to feel my way through this, as I think there is something really profound in an appreciation of our whole selves, and that includes the parts of ourselves that we have grown through and grown beyond, but that still provide us a source of healing ultimately as we continue to look at what we often call the dark side. And so I'm going to clarify the Five of Cups first and foremost with the Ten of Cups and the Three of Swords. No surprise there. I'm going to take one more card for the Five of Cups, and a bunch came out. So I'll take Judgment from the top, and I'll put these back for now. And so I'm going to talk about really this experience of sadness, remorse, regret that continues to carry in your aura, carry in your energy. It feels as though it's overshadowing it, but my sense is that there is real purpose to these emotions, these heavy, dark emotions that you are struggling to free yourself from, but your attention continues to go back to events as a way of better understanding the impact of those experiences on you. So with the Ten of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Judgment, it's interesting because I do feel like you are facing up to this very same pattern that is being described in the Five of Cups, more or less. It's Three of Cups that are overturned, that are emptied out. The Three of Swords being actions, behaviors, words that have wounded, ideas, illusions that you have been wedded to, and that you understand and now see a pattern to. That pattern is one that it forms a larger piece of the puzzle in the way that you are continuing to carry that load. And in that way, you are recognizing and milking the experiences of trauma or heartbreak, sorrow, abandonment, neglect, by understanding what is more to be learned from that experience. Because the more you grow, the stronger you become, the more able you are to go back into the subconscious mind and face that fear of being unloved, that fear of being alone, that fear of never being as good as you formerly were when you were able to couple, match, mate, date, with a lighter sense of abandon, even if a lighter sense of joy, of experiencing beauty, even if that was short-lived, and even if the end result continued to be surprisingly devastating. Because in part, you've created a community around yourself The Ten of Cups talks about putting yourself in a circle of loved ones that can be family, friends, trusted allies, collaborators, colleagues, whoever you count as your trusted inner circle. And that can be a small or a very large number. Some of you actually live in communities where there is a physical sharing of resources and experiences on a regular basis, so that that's built into the support that you receive and provide for others. Ultimately, this is to the end of understanding what your purpose is. The reason you're called back to the past is because your purpose lies there. And for many of you that I'm speaking to, you were born with your eyes open. You have some kind of special gift, and that gift has not resulted in endless joy and connection. It means that you're often able to see things and through things that others can't. There's a sense of openness that you carry within you that makes other people uncomfortable. And in the place of this ability to welcome in this unique quality and vision that you are judged by others quite often. And as a result of that, you feel uncomfortable around a lot of people. Hence, the sheer achievement of creating a community of loved ones for yourself. This is really countering the sense that you are alone. You are destined to be alone because you found a purpose and a place for your gifts and your love, your desire to share and be open with others who are mutually respectful. And so this judgment is reminding you that you have something yet to learn. You will continue to learn from experiences that cause you sadness, that make you often experience regret or remorse. This has come up in the past. This idea that it isn't okay, you shouldn't be regretful, you shouldn't carry remorse or sadness. Those are things that we evolve away from into a state of some kind of continuous bliss. And of course, most of you know that is not the case. No matter where you are in life, there's always more to learn. And you're open to that. But now the learning comes with a sense of purpose, of service from your perspective. You're starting to understand why the ability to manage through so much resistance and hardship, so much challenge at an intimate level is helping you to guide others. I'm going to pull the same from the same shadow deck for the Page of Swords, and three, as I wanted two originally. Let's see how many I get. The Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and sure, the Fool. All right. I have a lot of Libra in my chart, so I like things to be symmetrical. So let's start with the Hermit. This is the Page of Swords, not knowing what to do, recognizing that there's something you can learn, something you want to study, something you want to figure out. And the Hermit is the perfect spiritual place for you to reside, this place for you to retreat within yourself to establish your own authority. Yes, you may have suffered within the rules of others, but you have your own rules, you have your own principles, you have your own standards, and ultimately, you are your own authority. So rather than being judged, you are learning that you are perfectly capable of managing your own behaviors, your own growth. establishing what is best for you by your own standards. And this is a huge step in terms of recognizing that you have a unique way of seeing things and a unique experience of things. The Fool card, well, actually, the Knight of Wands came next. So this is that passion that comes back into your life. This is the passion for growing, for learning, for exploring. And this naturally enhances the Page of Swords, right? The Page of Swords is inspired by the will to grow, the will to learn more, to be open up, to discover more of the world and hence more of themselves. And the Fool card is a beautiful place to be. Rather than the one trying to find out, sometimes called the spy, or a Nesnen, the spy in the house of love, I'm going to call this one. This becomes the Fool. This becomes journeying, looking for answers from a place of fullness now. From rather than seeing a lack in life, a lack of understanding, a lack of feeling place or belonging in the world, you now recognize that you belong to the world, that you belong on your own journey, on your own path, that doesn't need to be duplicated or mimicking anyone else. And that faith that you have developed because of this phenomenal strength that you've always had, this ability to withstand anything, that there's nothing too great or too horrendous that you can't survive and move through. And this Fool has instead the commitment, the conviction that simply being on the journey, taking the steps, continuing to grow, continuing to identify your own authority, your own principles, your own moral code, your own standards, that this is what the path is. The journey is the destination. Therefore, you can dispense with a place where you're supposed to arrive that will signal success. You've already enjoyed successes and you will continue to enjoy more, but that isn't what this is about. This is about the joy in being who you are and exercising your gift, your contribution to the world. That's where your pride begins and ends. I almost feel a returning back here to this place in the very early part of your life where you understood that you had chosen this experience for a very specific reason. You might not have remembered the reason, but you absolutely knew that you chose your environment. You chose your family. You chose your siblings. You chose everything about them for a specific reason. And what you came to learn about was known to you then. And I feel many of you are reflecting a lot of experience to me. And this can be in a life no matter how short or long. But you are coming full circle to this place of recognizing that the journey in and of itself is the value, is your contribution, is your ability to self-love, to self-respect, to self-honor. I am going to finish this with a flower oracle, and I have the orange blossom, and the key word is, surprisingly to me, enthusiasm. The best can be here. Believe it. And I think that is coming back full circle here in the way that the ring speaks about this deep connection, this infinite wheel, this circle of support, this aura of love, this encompassing our love in a way that is about our faith, our belief in ourselves. So thank you so much to all of you who have joined me today. If you found value in this, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this with others, and until next time, namaste.